You're very uneducated, really, miss. You're probably one of them countries that wait in line for bread. Relax. I don't know if you guys have been watching the U.S. Open. I'm watching this whole U.S. debacle with Taylor Townsend, who's been kicking some ass. She's been through a lot of, criticism with her body shaming, all kinds of shit. But what she's doing in the U.S. Open is amazing. She's moving up to different rounds. I hope she gets all the way to the end. And whatever she's doing, I'm proud of her. She's kicking. And you guys saw the whole little debacle with her and that Ostapenko chick saying that she's uneducated. She just kept saying she's uneducated. Where do you white women get off saying this shit about black women who are the most educated in America? But I liked it because if you see the video, Taylor Townsend's like, what's good? I mean, what you want to do? Of course, if she would have knocked her the f*** out. I just want to name some of these tennis players like CoCo Gauff, who is kicking ass. There's Francis Taifoe, there's Ben Shelton, Madison Keys, Sloan Stephens, Chris Eubanks, Michael Moe, there's Sachia Vickery. I love Naomi Osaka. I love her. She don't take no shit. I love her. All these black tennis players that are really just showing themselves and really doing, because this has always been a white-dominated sport for certain reasons, because they didn't allow anybody else. Exclusion was white people's talent, not letting anybody. It's same for basketball. It happened in basketball, baseball, the whole nine. Think about what Jackie Robinson went through. Think about what the first football player or Bill Russell and all them went through, being called names and shit, because that's always what they resort to, is name calling to throw you off your game. The Williams sisters, what they've done to tennis, and just to see this lady try to shame Townsend with racial slurs, because that's usually what white people do. They start calling you names when you beat their ass equally. Name calling is still what you do, which is fucking stupid. I want to give a shout out to Althea Gibson. Okay, she broke the color barrier at Wimbledon. There would be none of these people without an Althea Gibson. Arthur Ashe was the first black man to win Wimbledon. So all of those people that came before to help everybody else through this is very important to understand that. And that we still have this kind of ignorance in sports, which is hilarious. I mean, the same thing probably happens in hockey, which black people invented hockey, which is hilarious that it's all white. I want to give a shout out to Willie O'Ree, who was the first black hockey player in the NHL from the Boston Bruins, who came from Nova Scotia, where hockey was invented in 1895, 22 years before the NHL, invented by black hockey players. Look up Colored Hockey League. Anyway, in sports, of all things, that we still have this bullshit, because there are still some sports that are still exclusive. Look at Tiger Woods and what he went through. You have Calvin Peete, who came before Tiger Woods. There were other black golfers, you understand? Even the golf tee was invented by a guy named, I think it's Dr. George Grant. I think it's George Grant, who was a dentist who invented the tee, because they didn't have a tee, but he still wasn't allowed to play in the white country clubs. Taylor Townsend, I don't know if you're going to get this message, but keep kicking ass, keep doing what you do. That Ostapenko, and she beat another girl with a crazy name, Arthur Ashe Althea. Anytime you beat girls that are named Jabadu Dubanova and Rashimiya Nova and Jabika Linka Pink, that means you're doing really, really well. And there are white folks that are actually supporting Taylor Townsend, so I don't want to be, too extreme in saying that they're not, but it's getting a little ridiculous. The name calling, guys, grow the up. All right? Ostapenko, you got your ass whooped. 40 love. Stick it up your ass. Game over. Game match point. I've always been a tennis fan. I used to watch back in the day, like Jimmy Connors, Vitas Gerulaitis, Martina Navratilova, Christy Everett Lloyd, Pam Shriver. I was the Pete Sampras, Jim Courier. I watched all of these cats, John McEnroe, met him a few times. I know about tennis for a long time.